Dude, what are you talking about? I came from last I take a bucket.
So by the title of the video, we're gonna be unpacking how we're feeling, how I'm feeling, because I wanna make this video to show my vulnerability and also any time that I've been able to connect with people on a deeper and life-impacting level, it's always been a result of me being vulnerable. And I think that my life's purpose is to be vulnerable with other people. So let's get into it. So this is called Journal Entry 1. I couldn't come up with a better name, and I thought, you know what, just make it super obvious about what, you know, what it's about, and let's just name it what it is, call it what it is. So Journal Entry 1 is kind of a step into how I've been viewing my life and viewing, I guess, internet life, if that makes sense. And whether you like it or not, you and I have an internet life. We exist on the internet in some sort of way. Why vulnerability, I think, is so impactful, just because there's a lot happening online and it's affecting you more than you know. And it's certainly affecting me more than I give it credit. So let's get into Journal Entry 1. Just some background about what kind of sparked all of this. I think it's really important to dissect that. But my friend asked me to water her plants while she's away, and lucky for me, I scored this apartment for a week and a half. And like, I could talk about how I manifested this in a separate video, in a whole separate conversation. But yes, I've been enjoying this beautiful apartment for the last 4 days, and your girl has been living it up. So yeah, having a space to myself, because I do live at home with my whole family, and it's been obviously a blessing, but at the same time, I feel like a lot more introspection has happened, a lot more positive introspection has happened in this space. And I think it's very important as a young person to do that kind of stuff, because these are our formative years. It's been really good for me. I don't want to sound like it's been like really good for me, but it has. So anyway, I'm gonna read to you what my Journal Entry 1 has to say about today. So today's June 23rd, and this is how my morning went inside my head. I was just listening to Margot Lee's podcast episode all about success and what that means. So today I opened up Instagram, and the Moon Tarot account posted today's energy, and it was all about success. So the post said, "What does success mean to you? Your definition of success is what's most important on your unique journey, dear one. Today, become certain on what you find most fulfilling." My definition of success has definitely changed in just 3 days. I'm starting to see success as a feeling of internal peace. A peace that comes with knowing yourself and what your life's purpose is. I think that after getting access to this apartment, it made me realize that because my future is so unclear, it's hard to enjoy the space fully. But I've had an incredible time being radically introspective. I've come up with some pretty good ideas while here, and that's been exciting / comforting. It's given me a sense of direction, possibility, and curiosity. One quote that I'm holding on to: hold the vision but trust the process. And it's changed my outlook. And then I wrote, stop existing to live online. And within that quote, what is that called? Like, it branches off to different things, like mind mapping in a way. A separation of what's happening in real life should always be documented online. And I don't know if that sentence makes sense, because what it's trying to say is that not everything that's happening in your reality should always be, you know, online and reported. And it is very toxic, especially when you are just trying to figure out what the fuck you want to do with yourself. And then another branch that I kind of wrote out was an identity so tied to how we present ourselves online to the point of having no real identity at all. And that was really important, because In my mind, I can't wrap my head around how you can exist online and create this brand that is supposed to be authentically you, but you put so much pressure on yourself to sustain this brand identity that you start to forget what it means to be you, and the you that isn't calculated, isn't planned out, but just the you that exists in that exact moment. Like, how can the two coexist, and how can we develop like a healthy relationship with this dynamic? And I wonder if it's even possible. So on top of the separating what's IRL and URL, I wrote, trying to live an aspirational life that commits your purpose to a digital space and not a spiritual one. And from there I went to, can spirituality coexist on an online platform that centers around self-image? I am struggling with that question of like spirituality really coexisting with our digital self. And I subscribe to a few content creators that talk about spirituality and that being like a sense of internal peace and not necessarily really speaking to a higher being or a higher thing, but just attracting like positive energy and vibrations and all that kind of stuff. So like when I watch their videos, I do get a sense of this is not just a video where they're creating content, but it's also authentically them, and they are genuinely trying to kind of like dig a path for people who might be feeling lost. And I want those things. I want to be very certain of who I am and not let the online noise like cancel out who I am. Just going back to that calculated person that I think I have to be online, and how I can loosen my strings a little bit. So on the next page I wrote, evolution as a form of self-love. Consider trying as a way of weeding away the bad stuff and the stuff that only takes up space. Let go of trying to control my mind and instead let the scary thoughts out, so you can create a space that comfortably stores the thoughts worth keeping. So often we think that life is going to happen one day, when in reality life is already happening. And then I just wrote, turn off the screen. Just going back to how being in this separate space from home has given me the opportunity to come up with ideas that give me a sense of direction, possibility, and curiosity. And I think it's so funny how those steps are in reverse, when in reality I think curiosity, possibility, and direction are the steps that follow, and that's how it should align, instead of like direction, possibility, and curiosity, if that makes sense. And I think it's a feeling of, like what I said, evolution as a form of self-love. And evolution is a form of self-love. If you are on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube and you are romanticizing someone else's life, you aren't evolving. That can be very dangerous, because so much of the content on YouTube is like, of course, very edited. What videos can't convey all the time is the feeling and the emotions that are going on within that creator. And I think we forget that. So if we're already feeling low about ourselves and feeling detached from our own reality, we will interpret that very differently, because our state of being, how you internalize the content, is how you're ultimately going to feel about the video. Close that window of curiosity only about other people's lives, and then suddenly when you close a window, your own reflection is staring back at you, and you're left to look back at it. But yeah, that was journal entry 1. I want to have these kinds of videos on my channel sporadically whenever I'm really in a state of deep introspection, just so the conversation kind of flows better and the dialogue is just way more free. But I will leave you with that. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a really wonderful day, whatever you're doing. go eat something, live in the moment, live in the present. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Yeah, bye.